like I said last time, today, I want to clean this up. But let's first take a look at it again. And yeah, the movement, I'm still fine with this movement. However, like I said, this needs a cleanup. And I'm gonna put a character on top of this. I'm talking about this character. I don't know, I find this, it's, I guess, relatively simple, or at least you can make it relatively simple. And this is the best thing I have. So yeah, this is the character. I'm gonna try to put on top of this. And I'm thinking about how I should do this. I think I'm gonna make like a new animation folder. Let's just call this A, I don't know. And then, well, let's just try this. I'm gonna like make all these keyframes, where I later want them to be, and then I start drawing. But let's start with here. I'm gonna make them all like less visible, so it's easier to draw on top. Alright, so the head shape is actually somewhat right as to, how I want it to look like with my reference. And this is, I think I already said it a few times, but this is still the rough animation, so, still sketchy, but I'm gonna, I've got the movement down, so I'm now allowed myself to zoom in, because then it's easier for me to draw all of the facial features. Let's get a mouth in here, and the hairline. The mouth is too low, and I gave this character a beard. Don't ask me why, because it makes my life more difficult when animating. So I maybe shouldn't have done that. Doesn't look good. I guess I can make it look right. Or, crazy thought, I just ignore the character sheet and get rid of this beard. I'm gonna do this for now. Maybe I might change my idea later. But for now, that's actually what I'm gonna do. Well, I said the blanket will be hand animated, so I guess I actually have to do this. However, here it should fall down, shouldn't it? Like this, maybe. I also think just because it's, since I'm still trying to learn, I'm gonna make my life also easier and not add any shadows if this works how I want it to. We'll see. The question is now, do I give him, like in the character sheet, he wears a pullover, hoodie, and the question is, do I give him this here as well or not? I'm gonna try it, even though I don't know who sleeps like this, but not my problem. What I'm gonna do here, so I copy the first cell, however here his eyes are open, and I only change the eyes. This hopefully makes it look more consistent or so, but one thing is for sure, and this is that it makes my life a bit easier, so I don't have to redraw the whole thing. It also means it's gonna stay consistent because it's not moving anyway. And his eyes, or maybe, make them a bit smaller, because, he's in a shock, like he just woke up from a nightmare. Yes, and I think, well, for the final animation I probably need here one in between, but this is for later. So let's focus on getting the key frames right, or worrying about like in-betweens and stuff like this. Oh, his eyes should be like here now. Well, they're way too far apart. Oh, wow. This is probably the ugliest face I ever drew in my life. But nothing that can't be fixed. At least I hope so. because this looks nothing at all like the character. And I think the eyes are maybe not only the eyes. His whole face is like too low. But he's supposed to. No, this is supposed to. Wait, it's supposed to be like a bit like this view. But I maybe not that hard, but like this. And we don't have this here. Redraw. Alright, this looks better. Now the ears need to be high because she's looking down, so the ears are, they rise when you look down and the opposite when you look up, so they need to be high in this. And here, let's make here like the hairline. Would you even be able to see the hairline like this? Probably not, right? And maybe like something here still looks off. I think I know it because here this side it goes a bit down first and then like to this side, and this side I have it just straight up to the side. I'll make it a bit more even, and here like this maybe. Yeah, this looks good. And well, now he's moving up, so let's keep it like this. And then well, the blanket is only here, so visible, like this maybe. I don't know. I decided now he's wearing this hoodie, so need to draw it in obviously. And let's try and get the face on top of this. Let me try this. However, this still looks a bit weird. Let me get this, fix this real quick, and then we have it like this. Let's just keep it like this for now. But I'm not happy with this mouth or the face in general. It doesn't. Maybe add here some lines. No, let me try and rotate them a bit. His eyebrows. Maybe this looks better. Doesn't change. Maybe because it's too much under his nose. Could this be the reason? Depending on how hard I want the perspective to be, it should be under his nose, but this looks better actually. Let me get this. No, we're looking for, we're looking up, on it, down at him. So it should be like this actually. This looks better. Oh, no, I'm still not happy with this hoodie, but it looks okay. However, I did find a reference for this, so I'm gonna try and fix this hoodie now. I guess this looks okay. We could also, because he's getting up really fast. Well, let me change here actually the eyebrow. Yeah, this looks okay. I maybe could have made it better. Let's move on. This is gonna be a lot more challenging. I don't often draw people in this pose. So I need to figure out how this, should look in the first place. I think I made his legs way too long there. It should be more like this, but actually I think I need to rotate it a bit and bring it a bit down and maybe a bit more to the left, because if we remember this, his head is like in this area of the pillar, and here I had it there, but it should be around here. Alright, well, I don't need to draw the most beautiful stuff here because it's under the blanket anyway. But the hoodie, I almost forgot. Crap. I guess this is okay, isn't it? And now I made him have his arms underneath the blanket. I don't know if people actually sleep this way, but well, it is what it is now. At least my arms are not under the blanket when I sleep, I think. And it doesn't need to make sense. I just thought, shouldn't his hair be open when he sleeps? Again, I don't know, people usually not wear a hoodie when they sleep. So let's just say he he makes I don't know, had a rough day and immediately dropped into his bed and fall asleep. I'm thinking, because sometimes if the character is like not as close to the camera like this, then they don't draw the facial features or like the eyes or so. At least I've seen this in Fire Force a lot, but also in Vinland Saga from time to time, you know. So, you know, I guess I'm allowed to do the same. Well, what would be the next frame? Already woken up, okay. So let's then, that means this is already where he, but this should be alright. For this, you know, it's not that close to the camera, so, you know, something like this would be the final scene, you know, maybe more like this. So yeah, I can leave it this way, just draw. So this is all underneath the blanket. Alright, and then he wakes up and immediately sits up, which is very unrealistic. However, it doesn't matter now. So one thing I forgot, oh, two things. Put this on a, well no, I didn't forget anything. Wait, what I'm doing here, this, I want this light table, you know, to, now let me rotate it, to help me get a size right, you know, because I want the head obviously to stay consistent in size. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna trace over this to keep it consistent and then change the things I need to change. So, and now, well, he's here, you know, his mouth is open, like from there to there. I don't know, I don't often draw the mouth open from that view. While his arms are still well under the blanket, at least that was the plan. So yes, so the blanket here, I guess it gets pulled up. So, you know, like this maybe. And then here we have still this, and let's try and keep it consistent here. But then, you know, it goes like up, and I would say then down. Does this make sense? And well, there was one more thing that I, yes, here, these smears, you know, because the next frame he's straight as well. Oh, so I guess he's not supposed to be this straight here, you know. So let's rotate this a bit back so we have a bit of an easing, you know. And then let's just add some smears, I guess. So what I'm actually gonna do now for this next frame is copy this again, and then I have this, and then I rotate it back. Maybe I should have copied before I draw these smears. So let's see how it looks so far. And I think I'm gonna change this edge of the blanket in a minute, but let's see how it looks first. Actually gonna do, push this here down again like this. Does this look better now? Because, you know, so he has his legs like only up to sit up, and then they're back, you know, resting. And I like it a lot actually, you know, that he first here gets up, and then we here start again in this pose, and then he gets up. I do think this makes everything flow a lot better, because, you know, I don't know if you knew, but this is something that like is done often in, like, also, you know, when people get punched or so in movies, you know, you have, or when an explosion, you know, when something explodes, you have like in one cut still the very beginning of the explosion, and then you like have this zoomed out total shot of the explosion, but it's not continuing where it left, you know, but like again from the beginning of the explosion, because it's just, you know, it flows better. That's why I did this here as well. I think, you know what, I'm actually gonna add another frame here and copy this again. I know a lot of copying, but it, you know, because what I'm gonna do is just lower this a bit, you know, and make it a bit more flat, you know. So we have like this. Alright, this did not look how I imagined it would look, because, you know, I thought it would just look like he, you know, he has his shoulders up here, you know, that it would look like he's just, you know, letting his shoulders fall down. But maybe I delete this again. Yeah, I'm gonna delete this again. Undo everything. Alright, next frame. So here he climbs out of the bed. By the way, also, sorry that this video takes a little bit longer, because, well, obviously what I have to do for this video is a lot more time consuming than the other. And what am I doing here? Holy crap. You know what? This has to work for now. So I would say the body is like this big. Yeah, that's actually looks pretty good. I'm still gonna make this very simple. And face looks a bit weird here. Can't seem to get it right. I'm gonna make like the hands and the feet probably later at some point, even though it would be the moment to do them. But I have like still a lot of problems with hands and feet, and so yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, wait with, you know, as long like this it gets the job done. Wait, where's the second leg? There. I forgot to draw it. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, I have to make sure here it, you know, stays like, so it doesn't look like he's just floating around. I don't want that, so I need to, these, you know, contact pose, basically, or the contact point, basically, you know, here as well. There he's, you know, he's grabbing the mattress. Needs to stay the same location of the hand. Does this make sense? Technically oh shit, 4 more frames. Crazy stuff. Gonna keep this here. That means I gotta change a bit. You know, I still want this hand to stay at the same place. That, however, means, you know what, I can move it. You know what, let's get rid of this till here, and so the hand, what I'm gonna trace over this, just so I have this, and then I change it to here, and here basically the body is, so can make it like this. Alright, let's see how this looks. I'm not at all happy with this frame. I'm probably gonna redraw it later, but I have to take a break. So I wanna see how it looks first. Yeah, it looks okay. I think the head does shrink a lot. So let me actually get here again. Or, you know, here the 5th drawing the head in. And then let me just scale this up until it looks right. Here again. Isn't actually that much too small, but a bit, and I don't want it to shrink over time, so let's just scale it up this a little bit, and then this is okay. So let me just redraw this face here on frame 9 to look better, and then I'm gonna take a break, which you won't notice thanks to the magic of video editing. It looks better, but it looks nothing like my character sheet. Problems, I don't know why. The eyes are too big. The problems, I don't have enough. The resolution is not good enough to be able to draw it better. So I just have to go with this. However, this foot is a bit too small. We just have to go. Well, I just have to go with this for now. Then I'm gonna redraw, yeah, maybe, probably, because this is not good. Let me just try one more thing. Yeah, that's good enough for now. Next frame, I just noticed here, this stays the same, so I'm gonna, what did I do? Yes, I'm gonna pull this out of this animation folder, so it then stays the same. I then need to just get rid of this and maybe name it, and it starts here. Why don't I just activate onion skin? It makes life easier. Why don't I just do it? Right, I also noticed a mistake here or something I need to fix, because it looks like he is just shrinking here and I don't want this, so he should get bigger, you know, not smaller. Yeah. Alright, let's see how this looks. Is this better? It would be if his legs wouldn't look so short in this one. Let's make them longer here. Let's take a look. That's actually okay. Alright, and here straight again. I'm gonna try my best. I really have to do some more just character studies or so, you know, that I don't have as much problems just drawing a simple character anymore, or also that I can draw more consistent, because I think these are really things where I have to, you know, this is, I think, what can make or break the animation or animate, because obviously if you just can draw poses or like everything just, you know, without problems, you're gonna have a much easier time animating, I guess. I'm not so far yet. These recent days I'm not drawing much. I mean, I made a drawing of Nanami a few days ago, or a painting, but besides that, not much. And also this animation takes a lot of time because I just work on it as consistent as I would want to. And on top of that, it's currently super hot here where I live. It's just like, you know, for these recordings I have to turn off my fan, but I don't like turning it off. Face, it's so fucking warm. Right, finished. Now let me just take a look if what was this? Let me just take a look if this works. Kinda, but not really. It looks like the bed is really tall. Actually here also something wrong. Self up, so technically he should be higher. This means I have to redraw, or well, let me first look. Maybe this looks... This looks better if I'm gonna redraw this frame now. What I'm gonna do now. Because he pushes himself up, not down. These hands are not good, and they 100% need a redraw. Same with these feet. It's... yeah, I'm gonna redraw that. This looks actually okay now, also with dropping down here. Wait a minute, let me take a look at my reference. Yeah, at my reference I'm much higher, so let me try this actually. I mean, this would go until here and then we have his feet. Does this look better? I mean, down here this is already out of the frames, I'm just really it is. But maybe in movement it's better. This does look even worse now. You know what, I'm actually gonna just undo this, make everything back to normal, and I'm gonna just keep it like this, because I actually don't think it looks that bad. And yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna fix the hands and feet, but not now, and maybe I don't even record it, you know, so we can go to the next step next time. which would be cleanup and in-betweening, I think, or at least one of these, or maybe both, I don't know, but I think they also take a bit of time. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out where the in-betweens are needed next time, and then I'm gonna do the in-betweens both next time, and then I'm gonna do the cleanup in a separate video. I think I'm gonna do it like this. Anyway, thank you all for watching. And I know you had to wait a little bit for these videos, but it took some time, and yeah. But thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.